PayZippy is initially started in the middle of last year as a merchant-facing payment gateway business, and at the end of last year, in December, transitioned to being a customer-facing wallet in addition to being a payment gateway. And now we are looking to take those two early steps and take it to its next logical evolution. So we are still in the process of putting that news out in public, so it's not public information yet. That's not what we are trying to do. We are not trying to have an in-house payment gateway. The awareness of the issue around payments, I suppose, arose from the customer's experience at the Flipkart website, and now with the Flipkart's mobile application and mobile websites. But we also realized at the same time that whatever problem we solve for the Flipkart customer can also be solved for the rest of the world, and that is perhaps the genesis of a payments business that is separate from Flipkart's main sort of online retail on e-commerce business. So it really is trying to take one part of the Flipkart's quote-unquote problem ecosystem and making the solution that we develop available to the wider public. That's a driver behind this initiative. At the core of it, the problem is simple, right? If you're trying to buy something and you need to pay for it, there are at Flipkart today, 4 different ways, which is debit, credit, net banking, and cash. Right? And there are problems associated with each one of them. So around authentication, around success rates of transactions, around redoing a transaction when it fails, or if a transaction succeeds but it is not communicated back to the merchant that a transaction succeeded. So all of these problems are not unique to Flipkart, right? And we figured that if we can create interesting innovation and move the needle both on innovation as well as working with all the other participants in the payments ecosystem to make a solution that works for our customers at Flipkart, that would also work for everyone else in the world. So that's the thought behind it, or everyone else in India at least, if not the world. So. Well, it's always an option, but I don't know if at this point I can say that we are actively looking. At the same time, I don't think Flipkart as a company would be averse to it if that is what would enable us to deliver the sort of value that we want to. The payments ecosystem today is not at the stage where you can say that, yeah, it's a vast array of solutions, parts of which PayZippy covers and parts are uncovered. I think the problem is slightly different. It is that in trying to go to market, are there pieces which already exist out there that can be abstracted into the system, just not to have to build all over again, right? The basic sort of table stakes of the game. So I imagine that is a possibility that can be done. So I imagine that if it were a logical option for us to do something like that, we would. But off the bat, I don't see something obvious looming out there, either as a gap or as an opportunity that we must run and fill through acquisitions. So acquisition is not the driving question. The driving question is, what do we need to do to get to market with the answer that we want to, and what is the best way of doing that? And I'm saying that acquisition might be an option open to us, but not the central question. PayZippy is too new, really. I mean, Flipkart as a business, and A, PayZippy is very new, B, Flipkart is huge, and C, we haven't really put out a solution that should or is intended to curb the COD rates. When we get to that point, that's when we'll start measuring for the impact of our solutions on COD. So at this point, the answer would be not applicable, I suppose. I don't think it is conceived as strategic. It is conceived as a value proposition, both internal and to the outside world. And to the extent that we succeed at making one or both parts successful, we'd have contributed to Flipkart as a business and towards building an independent business which does something very different from what Flipkart does today. So I don't think at Flipkart's core strategy, I mean, this can be called out as something at this stage strategic or not. Once it starts to assume sort of the contours of something that could be strategically important, then that would be an important question to try and answer. But again, too early. The focus, as I said, is to make the payments experience easy for the customer, to work with all the participants in the ecosystem to make that happen. The ecosystem contains, for example, banks, technology providers, us, merchants. So all of these things need to come together in several ways to make that happen, and we're trying to make that happen. As in, yeah, some merchants are using PayZippy. As I said, we've had the two first initial steps that we have taken. One is being a payment gateway and then being a customer-facing wallet. But most of what we are and what we are going to be is yet to come. So that is, I mean, as a basis to articulate the future business and the future strategy of PayZippy or Flipkart Payments would not be a complete basis. So those are the first two steps we have taken. We have merchants using us, we have customers using us, but that's just, as I said, a start. So let's see where we go from there. Again, as I said, it's early days. The number of merchants we have is what do you call it? It's a significant enough number that it matters, right? And we'll continue to grow from there. We are already providing value to our merchants at several levels. Key common issues with any payment platform is, for example, failure or success rates. So we're trying to move the needle on that one. So I hope we have done a reasonably good job at it, and we'll find out. Really, as I said, it's too early. We've just announced we're making massive investments and innovations to make the real value come out. So I'm not sure I can do justice by trying to answer these questions quite yet. All I can tell you is that we will attempt to move the experience needle of the customer significantly from where it stands today. And I guess all of us will find out how successful we are in doing that. Right? And we will also attempt to create a serious and large ecosystem built around those values that we would try and offer. We'll need to find a way to make a change or make a movement in that broader landscape. And I think all of the payments players are trying to do that. We are too, and hopefully we'll come out with something that is, I mean, since we exist as a company, we must believe that we can do something that's different. And since we do believe that we can do something that's different, hopefully in the coming months, people will start to see what are the things that we can or will do that's different.